I remember the first time I stood in front of a mirror, not to check my makeup, not to fix my hair, not to adjust my clothes, but to truly see myself. I mean, to look into the eyes of the woman I had been running from, the one who carried my disappointments, my dreams deferred, my failures, my shame, my hidden victories, and my silent prayers. It wasn't easy. That first moment was hard. My hands trembled, my breath caught in my throat, and tears started flowing before I even opened my mouth. And I know some of you have been there, or maybe you haven't gotten there yet, but baby, you will. Because mirror work isn't about vanity. It's not about how you look on the outside. Mirror work is about reconnecting to your soul. It's about facing the little girl or little boy inside who's been waiting on you to acknowledge their pain, their power, their presence. Can I get an amen on that? See, we go through life so busy doing, performing, striving, we forget that our healing starts with seeing. The first practical step in any transformation is acknowledgement. In that mirror, that simple, everyday object becomes the most powerful tool in your breakthrough toolbox. Because when you look yourself in the eye and say, I forgive you, I'm proud of you, and I love you, something inside shifts. It may not be a loud boom, but it's a sacred whisper that starts to rewrite your story. You see, when I first started mirror work, I had to confront years of self-doubt, neglect, and negative self-talk. I had to admit that while I was showing up for everyone else, I was barely showing up for myself. I had to own the ways I had let myself down, not to beat myself up, but to finally give myself grace. And some of you need to give yourself that grace right now. Say it with me, I am worthy of my own love. Yes, come on now. Say it again like you believe it. I am worthy of my own love. Because too often we're looking for validation from the world, but mirror work teaches you to validate yourself. It teaches you to stop waiting on someone else to rescue you and instead recognize that the rescuer is already inside. That version of you who knows how to bounce back, how to fight, how to rise. That version is staring right back at you if you're brave enough to look. So let me ask you this. When's the last time you said something kind to yourself? Not because someone told you to, not because it was a self-care trend, but because you realized that your healing depends on it. That's what mirror work is. It's soul surgery. And yes, it can be messy. Yes, it can be painful, but baby, it's worth it. Because on the other side of that pain is freedom. On the other side of that shame is acceptance. On the other side of that silence is your voice, strong, clear, unapologetic. So I want you to get ready, because over these next parts, we're going deep. We're pulling back layers. We're unlocking doors you might have sealed shut years ago. But we're doing it together, and I promise you this, by the end of this journey, you won't just see your reflection in the mirror. You'll see your resilience. You'll see your truth. You'll see your transformation. Are you with me? Let's go. Now let me tell you something. Mirror work will introduce you to the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. I'm not talking about the curated version you post online or the version you let the world see. I'm talking about the real you, the raw you, the you that lies awake at night wrestling with doubt, the you that's been craving love, safety, and affirmation. When you stand in front of that mirror and look yourself in the eyes, unfiltered, uninterrupted, and unapologetic, you begin to rebuild trust with yourself. And baby, some of us have been lying to ourselves for years. I'm okay, we say when we're breaking inside. I'm fine. We whisper when we're exhausted and ready to give up. But the mirror doesn't lie, and mirror work doesn't let you hide. It calls you out with love, it calls you up with power, and it calls you in with grace. And yes, the first few times you do it, it might feel uncomfortable. You might even laugh or roll your eyes and say, Lisa, this is silly. But stay with it, keep coming back, because consistency is the secret sauce of transformation. The more you return to the mirror, the more you begin to hear your inner voice louder than the external noise. See, when I first started doing mirror work, I was a single mom on government assistance, trying to feed my son and believe in a future I couldn't yet see. Every day I showed up to that mirror, I told myself three things. Lisa, I'm proud of you. Lisa, I forgive you. Lisa, I love you. And some days I didn't believe it, not one bit. But I said it anyway. Because sometimes you gotta speak the future you into existence. Sometimes you gotta declare your freedom while you're still in chains. Come on now. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. You speak to the woman or man you are becoming, not just the one you are right now. And slowly but surely, those words started to land. My shoulders softened. My back stood taller. My spirit started rising. Because what you say to yourself becomes what you believe about yourself. And what you believe about yourself shapes how you show up in this world. So let me ask you, what story are you telling yourself in the mirror? Are you speaking life, or are you replaying old lies that were never yours to carry? Are you declaring your greatness or repeating narratives of not enough? I want to challenge you to get radically honest. Stand in that mirror and face yourself like you would a best friend who's been hurting. Would you tear her down? Would you ignore his pain? No. You'd hold them, speak truth, and remind them of their worth. That's what mirror work invites you to do every single day. And if you've never done it before, start today. It's simple, but it's sacred. Find a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and speak. You don't need fancy words. You just need true words. Say, I'm still here. Say, I'm enough. Say, today I choose me. And don't just say it once. Say it until your soul hears it. Say it until your doubt loses its grip. Say it until your reflection becomes your reminder of how far you've come and how powerful you truly are. Baby, I need you to know that your healing is not outside of you, it's within. And every time you return to the mirror, you water that seed of self-love, self-trust, and self-acceptance. Mirror work is not magic, but it is miraculous. It's how you reclaim the narrative. It's how you interrupt the generational cycles. It's how you move from surviving to thriving. So if you're ready to meet the real you, the powerful, beautiful, unstoppable version of you, then it's time to show up in the mirror like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Now family, let's get real. When you start this mirror work journey, you're not just whispering sweet nothings to yourself. You are unearthing wounds, calling out the little girl or little boy inside you who never got the love, the apology, or the acknowledgement they deserved. And let me be raw with you, it's gonna hurt sometimes. You're going to look in that mirror and remember every time someone told you that you weren't enough, and you're going to realize you've been carrying those words like chains around your soul. But baby, that mirror is not your enemy. It's your stage for deliverance. It's the place where your healing begins. So when those tears come, and oh, they will, don't wipe them away too quickly. Let them fall. Let them cleanse. Let them tell the story of what you've survived. Because every tear you shed is evidence that your heart is still open, still beating, still fighting, and you are worth fighting for. Do you hear me? Say it out loud with me. I am worth fighting for. Again, I am worth fighting for. Because when you say those words, something in the atmosphere shifts. When you declare your worth out loud, the parts of you that have been silent begin to rise. See, we've been taught to be quiet about our pain. We've been trained to put on a smile to get back to work, to push through like nothing's wrong. But mirror work says pause. Mirror work says be still. Mirror work says speak your truth. And your truth might not be pretty. Your truth might be messy. It might come out between sobs and trembling lips. But your truth is holy. Your truth is necessary. Because when you say to yourself, I forgive you, you're not just forgiving a past mistake. You're freeing yourself from the shame that's been sitting on your chest like a weight. When you say, I'm proud of you, you're acknowledging the silent victories no one else ever celebrated. And when you say, I love you, you are giving yourself the thing you may have waited your whole life to hear from someone else. Let me be clear. You don't need to wait on their apology to heal. You don't need their approval to feel worthy. You don't need the world to validate you when you learn how to validate yourself. That mirror is not just glass, it's sacred ground. It's where you show up not as someone else's version of you, but as the truth of who you are. And don't let anyone tell you that self-love is selfish. Oh no, baby. Self-love is your lifeline. Self-love is the foundation upon which you build every dream, every relationship, every breakthrough. When you love yourself fiercely, you stop settling for crumbs. You stop tolerating toxic love. You stop shrinking in rooms you were meant to shine in. Mirror work trains you to see yourself clearly, and when you see yourself clearly, you stop believing the lies. You stop repeating the cycles. You stop handing your power over to people who don't know how to hold it. So if your voice shakes, speak anyway. If your knees tremble, stand anyway. And if your heart breaks open in front of that mirror, let it. Because you're not breaking down, you're breaking through. And I need you to know, it's not just about how you look in the mirror, it's about what you say. You've looked at yourself through the eyes of judgment, criticism, and fear long enough. Now it's time to see yourself with compassion, curiosity, and courage. That's the transformation, that's the healing, and every time you return to that mirror, you're not just facing yourself, you're facing your future. So don't you dare quit. Don't you dare turn away. Stay, speak, soften, rise, because the version of you you've been dreaming of, she's not out there, she's in there, and mirror work is how you bring her home. Now lean in, family, because this is the part that will change your life if you let it. This is where the shift happens. When you're doing mirror work consistently, you begin to notice something powerful. Your words start to carry weight. Not just out in the world, but right there in the silence of your own presence. You start to realize, oh my God, I've been narrating my own defeat. You see, the mirror doesn't just show you who you are. It shows you the story you've been telling about who you think you are. And baby, some of us have been running on a loop of limitation, a script written by fear, not faith. We've been looking in the mirror and seeing not enough, seeing too much, seeing broken, flawed, unworthy, and then wondering why our lives reflect exactly that. But the moment you change your language in the mirror, the moment you shift from what's wrong with me to what's possible for me, that's when the healing accelerates. That's when the chains start to break. That's when you start waking up in the morning with clarity and courage, not confusion and shame. And let me tell you something, sis. When you begin to affirm yourself every day, when you stare into your own eyes and say, I am whole, I am worthy, I am enough, you are rewiring your brain, rewiring your spirit, rewiring your life. That ain't just psychology. That's soul work. That's legacy work. That's you refusing to pass down pain to the next generation. That's you saying, the buck stops with me. This family will know self-worth. This bloodline will know healing. And don't worry if it doesn't feel real at first. Don't worry if you feel silly talking to your reflection like you're some kind of guru. The truth is, you are not trying to feel comfortable. You're trying to feel powerful, and that power doesn't come from ease. It comes from commitment. So you keep going back day after day through the tears, through the resistance, through the voices in your head that say, this isn't working. Because I promise you, one day something will click. One day you will look in that mirror and actually believe it. You'll see the sparkle in your eye that used to be hidden by pain. You'll see the confidence in your shoulders that used to droop under the weight of insecurity. You'll see the divine blueprint of your purpose and promise right there, reflected back at you. And that's the day you'll know mirror work isn't about vanity. It's about victory. It's about reclaiming the narrative. It's about standing in front of your past and declaring that it doesn't get to decide your future. It's about building an unshakable relationship with the one person you'll spend the rest of your life with. You. Because when you love you, you choose better, you dream bigger, you walk taller, you speak bolder, and you attract what you've been praying for. So baby, if your voice cracks, say it anyway. If your knees shake, stand there anyway. If your heart feels heavy, keep showing up anyway. The mirror is your altar. It's your practice ground. It's your daily reminder that healing is not a destination. It's a decision, and you get to make it again and again. So go ahead and say it with me right now. I choose me. Say it again. I choose me. Because when you choose you, you teach the world how to treat you. You become the thermostat, not the thermometer. You set the tone for your joy, your peace, your power, and family. That's what makes mirror work so sacred. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing generations. You're becoming the love you never received. And let me tell you, there is nothing more powerful than a woman or a man who's looked themselves in the mirror and chosen to rise. And family, let me tell you, when you get to that place where your own reflection no longer intimidates you but inspires you, where your past no longer punishes you but propels you, that's when you begin to live from a new dimension. That's when mirror work stops being something you do and starts becoming who you are. You wake up and it's no longer a chore, it's communion. You look yourself in the eye and you say, "Girl, we got this." Or "Brother, today we thrive." And it don't matter if the world's got storms waiting on the other side of that door, because you've already found shelter within. You've already held your own heart, and that heart is stronger than it's ever been. But let's keep it all the way real, because you know I don't do sugarcoating. I do truth and love. There will still be days when the mirror feels like a battlefield. Days when the voice of doubt sounds louder than your declarations. Days when you see the tired, the puffy eyes, the scars, the evidence of your journey, and you question if all this inner work is really working. And in those moments, that's when I need you to dig the deepest. That's when I need you to go beyond just saying words and start speaking life. That's when you call on the version of you that has already overcome more than they thought they could bear. That's when you remind yourself, I've made it through 100% of my worst days. Yes, you did. That's not a cliche, that's a testimony. So when those tough days come, don't run from the mirror, run to it. Show up anyway, speak love anyway, cry if you have to, but keep speaking. Keep showing up with that fierce grace, because transformation doesn't always roar. It often whispers through your consistency. And I'm not just talking about emotional hype, I'm talking about strategic healing. I'm talking about rewiring your subconscious by intentional repetition. When you look in the mirror every day and declare your worth, you're breaking old agreements. You're shattering the inner contracts that said, you'll never be enough. You'll always mess it up. You're to this. Not enough that. Baby, those contracts are null and void the moment you write a new one. You grab that invisible pen, stand in front of that glass, and you declare, I am whole, I am lovable, I am necessary. And let me drop this in your spirit. You are not arrogant for affirming yourself. You are not selfish for loving yourself. You are aligned. You are finally participating in your own rescue. You are finally loving you the way you've always wanted someone else to. And do you know what that does? It teaches your nervous system safety. It teaches your spirit home. It teaches your dreams permission. When you can face yourself with compassion, everything else starts to align. You stop chasing people who won't clap when you win. You stop apologizing for your light. You stop shrinking to make other people comfortable, because now you know deep in your bones that your existence is not an accident. It's an assignment. And the more you honor that in the mirror, the more you begin to live on purpose with purpose. You become magnetic, peaceful, powerful, because nothing is more attractive than someone who is fully at home within themselves. That's what mirror work does. It restores your home. And the beautiful part, you can start anytime. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You just need a mirror, your voice, and the willingness to believe again. So right now, wherever you are, take a deep breath and whisper to yourself, I am becoming everything I was meant to be. Say it like you mean it. Because if you can say it enough, one day you'll see it. One day you'll look in that mirror and see the warrior, the healer, the dreamer, the lover, the leader. And you'll smile, not because life is perfect, but because you have chosen to be present, powerful, and awake. And honey, that is the beginning of a whole new chapter. And beloved, if part 5 brought you to your knees with revelation, part 6 is gonna lift you up with revolution, because once you truly start to see the mirror as your meeting place, not for vanity, but for victory. That's when your internal world becomes unshakable and the external world starts. Catch up, and baby, let me be clear. This transformation ain't about ego, it's about alignment. See, for too long, we've been taught to find validation out there, from lovers, from bosses, from likes, from followers, from people who don't even know us, let alone see us. But what if the greatest applause you ever needed wasn't a stadium clapping for you? It was your own heartbeat pounding in agreement when you say, "I'm proud of me." What if the highest honor was looking in the mirror and seeing someone who didn't give up on herself or himself? Come on now. Can I get a yes, right here? Because the real glow up doesn't start with new clothes or a fresh haircut. It starts with a new covenant between you and your truth. Mirror work invites you into a sacred partnership where you agree daily to stand by your own side. And let's get real. It won't always feel easy. You may feel silly. You may fumble through your affirmations. You might even laugh or cry or roll your eyes at yourself. And that's okay. That's part of healing. That's part of rewiring a system that was never designed with your wholeness in mind. That's part of deprogramming the noise, the judgment, the trauma, and reclaiming you. Mirror work teaches you to get curious instead of critical. It teaches you to say, "What happened to me?" instead of "What's wrong with me?" And that shift right there, that shift is the gateway to healing generational patterns. Because let's be honest, some of the shame we carry in our skin, in our breath, in our belief, it's not even ours, it's inherited, passed down, handed over in silence. But when you look in the mirror with courage and love, you don't just heal for you. You heal for your mama, your grandmama, your daddy, your babies, and every future generation. Can you feel the weight of that responsibility? And also the power of that opportunity? It means you are the interruption, you are the answer, you are the breakthrough wrapped in human skin. And listen, I'm not saying it happens overnight. This ain't some magical fix. It's a process, a practice, a promise. Every single day you show up. Maybe for 30 seconds, maybe for 10 minutes, but you show up and you say the truth, even when your voice shakes, even when your knees wobble, even when your heart says, "I don't believe it yet." You keep speaking because repetition becomes revelation, and revelation becomes reality. You keep saying, "I am worthy, I am enough, I am loved," until one day you wake up and those words don't just live on your lips. They live in your bones. You start walking different, talking different, loving different. You stop over-apologizing. You stop hustling for your worth. You stop watering yourself down for folks who were never ready for your fullness in the first place. You start setting boundaries without guilt. You start dreaming bigger than your fears. And most of all, you start honoring the mirror not as a judge, but as a witness. A witness to your evolution, a witness to your rebirth. Because baby, every time you stand before that glass and speak life, you are resurrecting the parts of you that were buried by lies. And oh my God, what a resurrection it is. You are not who you used to be, and you are not who you're going to be. You're right here in the messy, magnificent middle, and that middle, that's where the magic lives. So don't stop now. Don't turn away. Don't mute your voice just because healing hurts. Keep going, keep growing, keep glowing, because mirror work is not just about reflection. It's about reclamation. You're not becoming someone new. You're remembering who you always were. Can I get an "I receive that" from somebody who's claiming their next level right now? Now let's take it even deeper, because in this next chapter of your mirror work journey, you're not just rehearsing lines, you're rewriting your life. You're stepping into the sacred space where healing meets wholeness, where your words build bridges over old wounds and your reflection becomes your revolution. Baby, this is where the shift really happens. This is where you begin to see that the person in the mirror is not just someone surviving, not just someone showing up out of obligation, but someone rising out of intention, someone blossoming out of decision. And don't get it twisted, it's a decision. Healing is a choice. Self, Love is a choice, speaking life over yourself when everything in you wants to shrink. That's a choice rooted in courage. That's a choice rooted in legacy. And I know somebody out there is feeling the weight of that right now, asking, Lisa, how do I keep showing up when I'm tired? When the old voices are louder than the new affirmations? Oh baby, that's the moment you gotta lean in. You gotta tap into your inner warrior, because hear me when I say, your healing doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be present, just present enough to show up, to look in that mirror and whisper, I'm still here. That's enough. And the more you do it, the more you become fluent in your own freedom. You start realizing that this mirror, this glass you used to avoid, is actually your altar, a holy place where you come face to face with your truth. And not the truth other people tried to give you, the truth that was born in your bones, that you are powerful, that you are valuable, that you are necessary. Come on now, I know you feel that in your spirit. Say it with me, I am necessary. Say it again, I am necessary, because there's someone, somewhere who needs your voice, your light, your story, and it all starts with what you say to you. Mirror work teaches you that you set the tone for how others treat you. You set the standard. You train the world how to engage with you by how you engage with yourself. So if you keep calling yourself broken, guess what the world reflects back? But if you dare to call yourself whole, even while you're healing, even while you're learning, then baby, the world will begin to mirror that wholeness back to you. Opportunities, relationships, abundance. They all align with how you show up. So when you tell your reflection, I got you, the universe says, me too. And listen, I've been in that place where I didn't want to say anything to my mirror except why me? Why the pain, the betrayal, the fear? And every time that mirror whispered back, so you can rise and lead someone else to the light. And now, every time I look in the mirror, I don't see just a woman, I see a movement, a testimony in motion, and that's what you are too. You're a miracle in motion. Your scars don't disqualify you, they validate your strength. Your voice doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be yours. And this work, this mirror work, is the sacred act of reclaiming it, day by day, truth by truth, tear by tear, word by word. You are building a relationship with your reflection that is based on respect and realness. And baby, when you respect yourself, the whole world gets information. People will treat you the way you treat you. And when you treat yourself like royalty, you don't need to demand respect, it's already deserved. So keep showing up, keep speaking life, keep being the love letter you never received, because this mirror, this work, this moment, it's not the end, it's your beginning. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but your future self is watching you right now, whispering, thank you for not giving up on me. So take a breath, stand tall, look into your eyes and say, I see you, I choose you, I love you. That's the kind of love story the world needs more of. And now we've come to the last part of this journey together, but baby, let me tell you, this ending is just your beginning. Because mirror work doesn't end when the speech ends, when the music fades, or when the lights go out. No, mirror work begins again every single time you choose to return to that glass with honesty, vulnerability, and courage. This is your rebirth, your reset, your reintroduction to the most powerful person you will ever know, you. And if no one told you today, let me be the first to say it. You are worthy of the life you keep dreaming about, but the only way to meet that life is to stop running from yourself. So I'm asking you, no, I'm inviting you to make a commitment right here, right now. Make a covenant with your reflection that you will show up even when you don't have all the answers, that you will speak life even when the words catch in your throat, that you will forgive yourself even when the world doesn't understand your healing. Because baby, you don't need their permission to be whole. You only need your own. Say it with me. I give myself permission to heal. I give myself permission to thrive. I give myself permission to love me. Fully, boldly, unapologetically. Because the mirror doesn't lie, but sometimes we do. We lie to ourselves when we say we're not enough, that we're too broken, too late, too lost. And mirror work calls those lies out and replaces them with the truth. The truth that your past is not your prison, your pain is not your permanent, and your mistakes are not your mirror. Your mirror reflects growth. It reflects resilience. It reflects a person who's been through the storm and still had the nerve to shine. Come on now. If you can look yourself in the eye and still speak love, even after all you've been through, then baby, you are the victory. You are the light at the end of your own tunnel. So don't wait for the world to affirm you, affirm yourself. Don't wait for someone else to call you beautiful. Call yourself radiant. Don't wait for applause to validate your progress. Celebrate your own becoming. Because every day you choose to do your mirror work, you are building emotional muscle, spiritual muscle, confidence muscle, and just like in the gym, you don't see the results on day one. But if you stay consistent, baby, transformation has to show up. It's not magic, it's mindset, and this isn't just a feel-good ritual, this is a life strategy. The mirror becomes your boardroom, your sanctuary, your therapy session, your pep rally. It becomes the place where you stop performing and start transforming. So when life gets loud, when criticism comes in, when doubt tries to pull you back, you return to your mirror and remind yourself, I know who I am, I know whose I am, and I know where I'm going. Because this work gives you GPS for your soul. And I know it ain't always easy. There will be days where the tears fall before the words do. There will be moments when you'll have to fight to look yourself in the eye. But I promise you, if you stay the course, if you stay faithful to the process, that mirror will become your miracle. That mirror will become the proof that you made it through. So here's your challenge, your call to action. For the next 30 days, stand in front of your mirror every morning and speak 3 truths. Something you're proud of, something you forgive, and something you're claiming for your future. Do it with shaky hands if you have to. Do it with tears in your eyes. Do it when no one's clapping. Just do it and watch what happens. Watch the shift. Watch the strength. Watch the self. Love grow from a whisper into a war cry. Because when you fall in love with the person in the mirror, you stop settling for less in every other part of your life. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing. You start living. So go on, queen. Go on, king. Go face yourself. Fall in love, build trust, speak truth, because your best relationship, the one that determines everything, starts and ends with you. The mirror is waiting. Your healing is waiting. Your life is waiting. And baby, you are more than ready. So go get it.